You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, Internet! Internet, how we have missed you. It has been so long, but now we are back, and it feels so good.
We had to take some time away to have Cobra whiskey and Ladybug hookers.
You gotta lay low. You gotta lay low for a while and have a goat munch on your important documents. That's how it works, everybody.
You gotta recharge, and you're ready. Now we're ready to go.
Hey, everybody. I'm Greg Goodness here for AfterBuzz TV. We are doing Archer, Season 6, Episode 1 recap here. The title of the episode being The Holdout. Aptly named, I thought. But I'm not the only one here. There are some very, very talented and lovely-looking gentlemen with me here at the table.
Hey, guys, I'm Scott Moore, and it's so good to be back. So good to be back.
Feels good. I'm Zach Wilson.
Now, speaking of being back, not only are we back, Archer is back, but in more ways than one. I think that it's abundantly clear, like right off the bat, we dive into this episode, and other than Archer being drunk and hungover, which is nothing new per se.
Never went away.
That's always been the same. Archer is perpetually drunk and hungover and involved in some shifty prostitute business. Other than that, we dive right into the fact that, okay, we are now semi-absorbed by the CIA.
It's a merger.
A merger. They're freelancing.
So I love that they're freelancing. As someone, I get that very, very well. I'm freelancing too.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's a freelancer. It's all just outsourced.
Right.
They're rolling away the ISIS sign.
Yep.
I loved that moment.
That was great.
I was wondering if they were going to make a point, because like obviously they can't keep calling their spy organization that was labeled by the CIA as a terrorist organization ISIS.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Thanks a lot, jerkwads, by the way.
Seriously, ruining everything here with Archer with that name. But I thought that was a brilliant way of doing it, because that was like the best possible way. Just kind of take it down.
They didn't even really acknowledge. I thought they might make a joke about it, but all they did was just push it away, and they're like, "That's the only acknowledgement we're going to give."
Which was the right, I think, way to do it. Was just not make a big deal about it.
Yeah, but I mean, to the larger point of that, it was definitely not a big deal about the ISIS sign.
Right.
But I think it was brilliant how they modeled the entire B story about restructuring the office, and how it's everything is literally exactly the same as it once was, which I thought was like kind of fitting for the episode, right? It's like, okay, we're back to these like classic spy storylines. Pam now has her weight back, right? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Did you want to see the new shiny office, or are we on board with the old office, new Brett blood?
You know, as soon as the doors opened and it was like shiny white future, I was like, this could be interesting. What is this? Are we really going to be in this white void for the entire season?
Yeah.
And then, but when they dissolved it away, that was the best moment ever.
Really was, because I probably had the same dumb face that Mallory had when that happened. Because I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. They're really going to switch it up. But that was what was great about it. It's like we're going back and they're basically recreating the entire office to look exactly the same. Except for the bloodstains, of course. They had to fudge that a little bit. But I thought that was great. It was great to bring that back.
They brought Brett's blood. Who Brett is gone. Brett is dead.
Died doing what he loved. But yeah, no, they brought it back in, and now the only two additions that we have that I can tell are we have Milton, who, oh my god, can we just have like an entire Milton series spinoff, please? Because I am all about Milton, the toast-making robot.
Oh my god, I am too. I really am. That was great.
It was just such a bizarre twist, and it was bizarre, strange, unexpected, and perfect.
Yeah, totally fitting to, I think, what the series is, where it's like, again, I can't stress enough how perfect, at least for me, this B story was. It's like, no, everything exactly the same as it once was. Yeah. Except a few things.
Except for the copier that makes toast. But I love the fact that they kept that thread throughout too, with Mallory going on. Oh my God, the phone's the same. This is the same. Like, that was great to keep playing that throughout the thread of the storyline.
You can hear Adam Reed going like, yes, it's the same, guys. Look how same it is.
And I think that they actually called it out like 3 or 4 times. There were people who were like, so everything is the same. Yes, it is exactly the same. We are done with Archer Vice. And we are moving back to Archer Classic.
But why would you do this? And then pointing at Mallory.
Yeah. And just Cheryl laughing hysterically. Like, that does sum up exactly what I think Archer has done so well, which is to be able to reinvent itself, yet also burn it all to the ground and build it back as exactly
But it's also like they are reinventing themselves again, though, in that same way, which I thought was great. It's like, okay, we're going to tear it down and bring it back up again, but it's basically the same, but different.
Yeah, and as much as I was a fan of Archer Vice, I thought that was a really cool spin-off and a cool direction to go in. It is kind of refreshing as a fan to go back to those basics and go back to
go back to the roots.
Yeah, we don't need to sell cocaine anymore. We're going to be spending a lot less time in the Tunt Manor.
Right.
And we're just going to go back to everything that you loved about the show to begin with.
Right. And like with Pam, you know, we don't have to go on these whole tangents with Pam, and now we could bring her back and she could be the same too.
She's back to a healthy quote-unquote weight.
Yeah.
Filling her holes with between snacks and her therapist penis. Which I thought was pretty perfect.
Which, that's the thing that's not the same, other than Milton.
Yeah. She's back.
Well, maybe it's the same Krieger.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Because, like, maybe it's the same Krieger. Maybe it's a clone. We still don't... I mean, there's kind of like a... When you can't remember Pam, it's like a big hint, I guess.
Oh,
but he did get hit in the head. That was the thing. Like, he got struck in the head. So it could be amnesia, or it could be just the clone.
You know, I had never thought about that, because I thought to myself, like, wow, I think it's kind of interesting that they made no reference of it whatsoever. But then it turns out, yeah, you're totally right. That absolutely is a reference that he wouldn't. But it's not out of his wheelhouse that he would also just forget the name of his coworker.
Exactly.
That's very much in the Krieger wheelhouse of insanity.
Especially with her, you know, changing look and everything from where she was, and maybe she's been gone, because we don't know. Maybe she was in therapy and rehab or whatever for that, and she could have been gone a while. And so that, I love the way they're kind of keep you guessing there.
I that is the thing that I cannot wait for. I want just 3 whole episodes of Krieger clones. Like, just give me a whole spin-off of the Krieger clones on a road trip, and I'd be happy.
Or living together under the same roof, you know, having to...
It's like a 3 men and a baby.
Yeah, like what antics are they going to get into?
Well, anyone who listened to the podcast last season will remember our...
when we had Lucky Yates.
We had Lucky Yates, and then we launched a change.org petition to start a Krieger comic series where he goes on a road trip. We got about 24 signatures.
Hey, if that's any indication of the general population... That means millions of people want to
really,
see.
It's true. They just can't be bothered to actually go on to actually say they want it. But they do.
Yeah. And before we move on, I hate to keep bringing it back to Milton, which is now my new favorite.
That's what I want to be for Halloween now. I want to somehow create this copy machine that makes toast.
I have to give a shout out to the Archer animation team to actually have the balls to put in like a loading screen at the very end of the episode. Right before the toast pops up, because that is comedy gold.
That is.
And you're just watching it, and you know what's going to happen.
Yes.
You know that when that line gets to the end, the toast's going to pop up. But for some unknown reason, it's still the funniest moment.
And it's just mesmerizing. You just want to watch it. You're like, okay, it's almost there. It's almost there. But that's what I love again about the show is the attention to detail. Not even just the animation, but the type of things they cover, the references they have. And that's what makes the show so brilliant, is that very specific attention to detail.
And that's something that we haven't lost, be it from season 1 to Archer Vice to where we are now. Core of the story, still the same. Hey, everybody. You know what else is the same? Us. We're here. We're there for you week after week with our Archer recaps.
Year after year.
Yeah. How sad and horrifying is that? But also kind of great.
Yep.
And we do it all for free. And we like your feedback. We value your opinions. So if you do like the show and you do like us, go ahead and go on iTunes. You can, first off, while you're there, just subscribe to the podcast and many other fine AfterBuzz TV podcasts as well. And you can go ahead and leave us a rating. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think of us. Say really hurtful things about us, but ultimately give us 5 stars. That's fine. That's all that we're asking.
Balance.
That's right. Balance. It's healthy.
You can insult us. Just give us a good rating.
Yeah. Through some crazy algorithm that I will never fully understand, keeps the lights on in this place. So go in, review, comment, subscribe. We love you for it. And we may even give you a shout out like we're about to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few months that we've been off the air. But
rather older.
Since then, we got 2 new reviews. And I want to shout them out. Kenneth Fouch. It looks like Fouch. This is a great show, 5 stars. Looking forward to next season. You don't have to look forward anymore.
It's here. The future is now.
And then Heart Queen says, "See you on YouTube. You guys are amazing. Aww. I love hearing what you have to say. So amazing. Don't ever stop."
Oh, my heart is breaking right now. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Well, thank you all. And again, go in, rate, comment. We'll try to give you a shout out if we can. Now, we still have a whole lot of Archer left to get through. And one of the big things that jumped out at me in this episode, I don't know about you guys, the simplicity of the mission that Archer went on. We're talking real classic spy stuff. It doesn't get any more just general like CIA covert operations than, hey, a plane that wasn't supposed to be in a place that it was crashed, and now we need you to go in, get a computer file, and blow it up. Like, comparatively,
it's almost like they took it out of another TV show or something.
Which they referenced, of course, that it was literally a plot line from the $6 Million Man. Which, this is kind of getting off on a weird nerd tangent, but like way back when, way back when in season 5, I think Adam Reed gave an interview where he talked about this, where he said, yeah, you know, it would make total sense to go back and just look at like all these classic spy TV shows and just rip off their storyline. He used a much more gentle phrasing than I did right there, but to go in and use those, because yeah, that is the basis of what the show is about, where they're not cocaine running and hopping trains. So like, again, this was comparatively pretty grounded, and I liked it for it. What did you guys think?
The same. I thought it was you know, I thought it was great. I thought it was interesting they actually just had Archer kind of out in the field. It's like everyone else is back in the office, getting used to the same old office, and he's the only one out there. I mean, they kind of alluded to why, because he was in that part of the world. But I love the fact it was, like you were saying, it was completely stripped down. It was basically the good old-fashioned spy, you know, going in there and getting dirty and getting out. And again, I love the old references that they use again too, with the communism and World War II. And I mean, it was really interesting. I love how they do that.
And a pretty biting breakdown of U.S. history of wars.
Yes, exactly.
And where we're sort of standing in the national geopolitical standpoint. Anyways, I digress. Zach?
No, I really liked that moment where he's just like, yeah, we left it kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, and like the day after World War II, Russia and us became enemies, and then we're not, then we're friends, and then I don't know what we're doing now.
Yeah, I think.
And legitimately, I don't know what the stance is now. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
but again, it's, you know, it's again this weird kind of not really present day, you know, it's this weird kind of time warp, because, you know, obviously they're talking about things that happened 60, 70 years ago, and it's this weird like present day, but it's not really.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I love that.
In the world of Archer, the Soviet Union is still around, so it's being run by an android ex-girlfriend of Archer's, or at least the KGB is.
So we still have a whole wheelhouse of crazy to pull from. But in this episode, comparatively low-key, which I think was good, especially since, Scott, you had mentioned it, Archer's going on a solo mission here. That this is something that we don't see very often, which is just one agent out in the field all on his lonesome. Yes, they had Ken, Sato, I believe, / Ken, who was accompanying Archer, but this was a really sort of poignant emotional turn for Archer. Like, it was weird to see him go down that rabbit hole of his psyche and then come out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
Yeah, I did. I also kind of took it as like we're kind of going back to the roots, and even though we're going on this mission, I felt like the main part of the story was actually them being back at the office and being back to the way things were.
Yeah.
And the mission was there as that secondary, like, okay, yes, we're going back to doing the spy mission, but the real, whole point of the story of this episode was the office and them being back there and kind of going back to their roots. And that just happened to be the secondary, because it really wasn't a big, like you said, it wasn't a crazy mission.
Right.
It was a quick, simple, okay, we'll go do this and then we're going to get out and he's going to go back to the office kind of thing.
That's interesting, because you're absolutely right. That was like an emotional core sort of thing, where it's like, even though we're not having Archer deal with all of his coworkers, inadvertently through this weird mission, he is, and he's dealing with his role as a baby daddy and that sort of thing.
I mean, it's a classic Archer. He's dealing with the situation by going away, pretending it doesn't exist.
Right.
And now he has to go back. But also, super sweet moment at the end. Very, very sweet, where he reunites his wife over the phone. Like, that was a level of emotional depth that I wasn't quite prepared for in this episode.
Hatsumi.
Yeah, they let that go on for a really long time.
Who looked like the Asian version of Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm sorry. If you go back and watch that, that's all I kept thinking about. So, again, another weird, like, juxtaposition here of, like, time and World War II and...
It could be. I have no idea. I have no reason to doubt you that it's in the Archer universe. She is some crazy clone.
Yes.
She's
a Roosevelt cousin that happens to be Japanese. I don't know.
If I saw that on like the episode list, like I'd be like, oh, okay, they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me the slightest bit.
All right. Well, not only did we have the emergence of a new wife of this Japanese World War II veteran, we also had the emergence of a person, namely a baby. Baby Abjean, correct?
Abjean or AJ.
Yeah, AJ. They're still sort of settling on the name, apparently. And it was interesting to see the impact that baby had, or at least in my humble opinion, the lack of impact that baby had on the episode. Because, Lana's like carting her around, but it wasn't like, oh, I have to go change the baby now, Like, were you expecting that? Because I was sort of expecting that a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, but not yet. I think we'll get into that, especially with Archer now back and like having to deal with like the balance of Lana, and it's Archer's baby, but he didn't even like conceive the baby.
Right. He didn't consent to
conceiving. I agree with you, though. I think we'll get into that because a little bit of it, she was like, oh, I got to feed the baby, and then the baby cried at one point and like shut up and that kind of thing. But I do think, like you said, it's like once we get further into the season that I think the baby's going to definitely play a bigger role in how Archer's going to have to balance that.
Was anyone else shocked that when she said she's going to go feed the baby that there were no breastfeeding jokes?
Yeah.
Yes. Because that's kind of what you were saying. It was like sort of a low-key... nobody was really bringing that up. Although I did find it interesting that Mallory wanted to refer to herself as grandmother. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I didn't expect her to be so open to being grandmother.
Well, as opposed to G-Ba.
Well, yeah, I know.
What is that?
Right.
G-Ba?
I don't know. I've heard some weird ones over the years. Yeah. I'm like, how did you... Like, I've always just used grandma. Yeah. Like, it's grandma. Right. Than a name.
Well, grandmother Archer. There you go. But you're very much on her point of view.
But for her, she just seems so vain and everything. I wasn't expecting her to embrace grandmotherhood so easily. I figured she'd want something like a weird nickname.
Right.
So it was kind of flipped for me.
Like, technically, this baby could be mine.
Yeah, exactly.
She's so young
right,
and
like she just had this vain kind of thing that I was kind of surprised that she embraced it, but...
Yeah.
That was just me, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to run around and be called G-Ba.
Yeah.
I actually disagree with you guys on a couple of points. I think we're gonna maybe see like 1 or 2 episodes where the baby is like right there. But I think otherwise, I could be wrong, and I would be pleasantly surprised if they're able to like turn it around through some mystery dynamic. I can't imagine that they're going to be featuring this baby in every episode.
No, I don't think it'll be every episode, but I do think because they brought the baby and made it a character that they're not going to just drop the baby. Like, the baby's there to
like
change the dynamic. Yes, the baby is there for a reason, and so I do think that that is there as a point to change the storyline a little bit, and for Archer and balance, and for Lana too, because it does change. Like, is she going to be able to go out in the field? Like, what's going to happen? So I do think it's there, but yeah, I do agree with you. I don't think it'll necessarily, the baby will be there every episode. Was the name from anything, Abigine? Like, was that a reference to anything?
No, they named it in the last episode.
I remember that, but I didn't know if it meant anything, and that's what I was trying to think of, if that was any kind of meaning behind it.
You know, actually, we got some comments on the YouTube page last time we brought this up.
Yeah,
about, like, theories
I couldn't
to
remember what it means.
And there are a ton of valid theories as to what exactly it means, but none that immediately stick out in my mind anyways.
Yeah, I think it may have just been like a weird name that Adam Reed liked.
Yeah.
Like Seamus.
Like Seamus, yeah.
Again, I can't get over this. Like, I don't mean to tear on it for too long, but Archer is already technically a dad.
Right.
Like, as far as he knows, he is technically a father to a baby already.
Well, no, he knows that it's not his.
No, because he knows, but
legally,
for all intents and purposes, legally it is his.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's technically Cyril's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not technically, like it's his DNA.
No, it's like technically.
He just doesn't necessarily know it yet. I gotta go back and watch some old episodes.
I do
and see
too.
like,
I think
exactly
they did.
where they left off.
I think they did eventually, like, without like saying it on screen. I think they like established that they know, like that she knows that Archer's not the father.
Yeah.
And I think Cyril's aware.
We gotta go back and do our research, man. Speaking of research, I was doing some research earlier on Pam. Girl crush Pam. For me,
we all know
we all know exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a little bit of a thing for Pam.
Wait, but which one do you prefer, skinny Pam or fat Pam?
Hey, I respect Pam as a person, and
you love her no matter what size she is, if she's generously proportioned or if she's.
I don't fall in love with the body.
Thin.
Yeah. Okay. I don't fall in love with the body. If I fall in love with the mind, and I love that Pam movie mind. That twisted Pam movie mind. Recently, the Pam's Gossip Train, which is the official like Pam social media account run by the Archer people, leaked some photos of her.
Oh no.
Yeah, some compromising photos off
of
her.
Oh my.
And I'm gonna see if we can pull them up right now because
oh my.
For those of you who are listening right now, it features Pam eating barbecue chicken. She is completely naked. And in this particular photo...
she was on a unicorn little floaty in the... Yeah.
But all of the other photos, she is completely naked and just eating chicken and having fun with a fried chicken bucket. Which I think...
She's now holding the chicken between her toes.
Which is kind of cool, I think.
Oh my god!
Like, I admire the dexterity.
I do, and I like the bucket of chicken there.
Yeah, no, it's
covering
all...
her TCB shaved pubic hair.
Yeah, no, they're all amazing. And
they are great.
If you have a chance, pop over to Pam's Gossip Train. You can just plug that in, and either it'll be on Twitter or Facebook.
Why do I feel like Pam is the one that leaked those?
Yeah, I think
she did. She wanted some publicity, you know. she was getting back, you know, after whatever she had to go through to kick the habit there with the cocaine, and so she wanted people to see she's doing all right.
I mean, it looks like she's got a thing going on with Krieger.
Oh,
potentially.
Oh, I never thought about that. That like she's dropping in like a romantic capacity.
Yeah, I mean they didn't really do anything, but she did get naked, and
but Pam, she gets naked all the time.
Exactly, she gets
fair enough, but
naked at the drop of a bucket of chicken.
Yeah,
but I love the fact that they built that whole space out there behind the janitor closet. I was like, really? That's what the secret passageway goes to.
I like it.
I mean, it's perfect.
It
is
like,
exact, and like everyone will know about it except for like
Mallory.
Archer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to see what transpires in that sauna room.
Oh, God.
Speaking of what may transpire in the future, you guys. Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ah, be still my heart. How I have waited for that creepy theremin music.
It's been a long time to have heard that music.
Feels so, so good. All right, gentlemen, go around the table. You have to predict something of what's going to be coming up on Archer.
Oh my God, we're getting Conway Stern back.
Yes!
Finally!
That's not even a prediction.
No, I haven't done the prediction yet. I'm starting because we are getting him back.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be working for the CIA, and like Archer's gonna like have to like partner up with him, and probably will by the end of the episode literally get stabbed in the back again.
History repeating itself.
Yes,
I think that's a safe bet. Scott?
I'd like to see Mallory get a new love interest this year.
Oh.
I think, you know, she might focus on going back to her roots and everything, but I think it would be fun to have some crazy character again, like a Burt Reynolds or somebody like just completely out there that's so crazy for her to have and just kind of shake it up a little bit. But kind of going back to what we were saying too, I do think the baby's going to play a big role in how Archer and Lana balance, you know, their lives and going out in the field on their next couple missions and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to play that out.
I think. Wouldn't it be great if Archer brought the baby into the field at
one point? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can imagine him doing that or doing something completely, you know, Archer irresponsible and taking this baby out into the middle of some crazy, you know,
war zone.
Yeah.
I just think it's a matter of like what vessel he's going to use to carry it. I think they'll put it in like a duffel bag or something. That sounds like an Archer thing to do.
Exactly.
I like that prediction though, because Ron Cadillac is no longer in the picture. Not his actual name, I think, but I know him as Ron Cadillac.
Right.
Man, as far as my prediction, oof, this is a tough one. A lot more Milton, the toast making.
Oh my
robot.
God, absolutely! That's my Halloween costume for sure. I'm so serious. That is the best thing ever. I want to see that every episode.
I think that Milton is going to become an integral part of the now unnamed spy agency that Archer works for. He's going to save the day.
I have a prediction.
Okay.
I think Cheryl and or Pam will hook up with Milton.
Oh my God!
By season's end.
Yes. Yes, 1,000 times.
I love by season 10.
No, by season's end.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you said season 10. I was like, oh my God, that's a long time to.
Hey, we can hope.
Right.
We can hope and pray. Oh my God. And that's the backdoor pilot, by the way, for Milton striking out on his own. All right, guys. Well, we've had a lot of fun here today, and we certainly hope you tune back in next week. If you're looking for me on the interwebs, I believe that you can find me at Generic Maverick. That's on Twitter, and I also I changed my Twitter handle.
You went back in the past there.
No, I'm falling back on.
I guess because Archer going back to its roots kind of brought you
all
back.
The same.
I know.
I'm at Greg Goodness, and actually my sketch comedy group, It's the Cops, has a show coming up this Sunday night, 9 o'clock at IO West in Hollywood. So you should go out. It's super cheap. You can get drinks there. It'll be a good time.
These guys are funny. Check them out.
Thank you.
And you can find me on the Twitter at sman80. That's SMN80.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. A bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz. Agent Carter is started up. Grimm is coming back soon. Helix comes back soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Oh, yes. And I'll be on Looking starting on Monday as well. So that comes back for season 2 this Monday.
Ha-cha-cha.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone at AfterBuzz TV for letting us do our thing, and we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.